Raise your hand. Oh, he has a little thing.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. Thank you so much. We did not hear any new information from the minister this morning. It's if they had been listening, frankly, the will and wishes of Albertans have been pretty clear, and they don't want to leave the CPP. The reality is that this will be a disaster for retirement security, for jobs, and for investment stability. So if they had been listening, I think it's been pretty clear Albertans do not want this.
Albertans, in these town halls, they've expressed concern that we might follow the Quebec model and pension money might get used on oil and gas projects or basically get lost some other way. So now we've got ministers saying it's off, it's on, it's off, and now today it's on. What is happening and why are they delivering mixed messages on that?
Well, frankly, I think this government can't make up their mind. They're now saying that they're waiting for the numbers from the feds, but frankly, they should have maybe had that number before they started on this process. They've already spent $8.5 million of Albertans' own money to begin on a process, and they haven't met with Albertans face-to-face. They've confirmed today, basically the only information that was confirmed is that they've spoken to fewer than 150 Albertans, or fewer than 150 Albertans have gotten through the town halls. The reality is that there is no reason that for them not to conduct in-person town halls. We have conducted already many, spoken to thousands of Albertans, and the message is pretty clear. Hands off the CPP.
Thanks, but that wasn't my question. My question was, why do you suppose they're flip-flopping on the investment model?
And I think the answer is I don't think they know, frankly. I think they're kind of making it up as they go. One thing I should mention is that on our side we did introduce an amendment to ensure that it's not the Quebec model, because clearly with that model recipients are paying more but getting less, and that is not a road that we want to go down. But clearly I don't think this government really knows. I think they're making it up as they go every single day.
The minister has said that Albertans give a clear response. It'd be as simple as they can, this whole thing. Now you're saying you have heard from Albertans, or you've had your own town halls. They've had theirs online. Everything's sort of on hold right now to wait for the federal government. Do you have any idea how soon, it's such a complicated issue, we might hear from the federal government? Are you expecting, Jim Didding said maybe mid-February, I've talked to experts that say it could take a year. This thing could drag on well into next year. Do you have any sort of sense yourself on the timing?
I think your guess is as good as mine, but in some ways the timeline of that is irrelevant, because Albertans have overwhelmingly said we don't want to leave the CPP. And look, I think it bears repeating that we are in the worst affordability crisis in 40 years. Every single day, our offices and the constituents that I talk to are worried about being able to pay their grocery bills, being able to pay their electricity bills. They're worried about overwhelmed emergency rooms. They're not worried about the CPP. And so the fact that this government continues to push on when the minister today could not give you a good reason why to push on with this this rabbit hole of a charade, I think says something. It is not what Albertans want, and we want to focus on the priorities of Albertans, and right now it's affordability and healthcare.
What I follow, the government, of course, will not commit to having referendums upon a decision on the government. It seems that you're very sure that if they did have a referendum, Albertans would vote against it. Is there any sort of fear that the government can keep pushing this forward and might convince enough Albertans that it's potentially a good idea? If we got a number from Ottawa that's actually maybe doable in the government's eyes, you're afraid that they just keep pushing this, it might actually break through and actually convince Albertans.
Well, I'm not going to speculate on that. I think what I will say is it's very telling that this government will not make this referendum binding, which says to me that they have predetermined outcomes, which says to me that they have no intentions to genuinely listen to the will of Albertans. They haven't so far. We have been saying to them, hey, come to our town halls, listen to Albertans, look them in the eye, talk to them face to face, and they won't do that, and they come with one excuse after another. Now it's waiting for the federal number, but there is no reason that they cannot meet with Albertans face to face to hear from them directly.
I'm just wondering about the numbers that Jim Dinning gave us, this kind of breakdown. Has the NDP tried to do any of their own assessment from the in-person town halls or from other, you had the online engagement?
Mm-hmm.
What, if you were to break it down into the pie chart of hate the idea, open to it, but need to know more, or like super love it, like how would that break down?
I think there's a pretty clear consensus from our internal polling. Over 90% of Albertans are against this idea. And in fact, if you look at what industry folks are saying, the National Payroll Institute, for example, did a similar poll, and it's over 90% as well. So I think the range is around 85 to 90% of Albertans, whichever source you look at, is against this. So I find that the 50% estimate to be a bit dubious, and clearly Mr. Dinning wasn't quite sure of those numbers himself.
I mean, I know he had a number where he said that there were some people that just needed more information, they were still on the fence. I mean, are you seeing people that are on the fence?
In our town halls, it's been pretty clear. I think those who are on the fence are still expressing anxiety and concern about what this means for their retirement security. I think Albertans are saying, you know what, this is not a priority for us. And that is reflected in the constituency calls we get. Not a single person has called me to say that they're worried about the CPP. The reality is it's one of the best managed public pensions in the world. Right now, we need to focus on affordability, on healthcare, and that's what Albertans are telling us.
Any more questions?